Cynics on Disney podcast contains adult language. Listener discretion is advised. This is the Cynics on Disney podcast, presented by Nightclub33.com.
Welcome into this week's episode of the Cynics on Disney podcast. I'm your host, Bobby, aka the Disney Cynic.
And I'm Amanda, aka the Anti-Cynic.
And joining us today, our most frequent threesome member, the Chief Financial Officer for NotClub33.com. That would be Pat Neistat. Patrick, thank you so much again for joining us.
That was quite the introduction. I guess I'm the third wheel. Thanks for having me. So
love a good tricycle, bro.
Should be exciting time. All right.
Love a good tricycle. So today we are going to talk about an ongoing discussion, shall we say, that Pat likes to occasionally throw the Molotov cocktail into the group chat with. And we are, going to have that discussion based on some actual facts, because up until this point, we had not actually technically experienced the how this went down. So we waited for a second, and now Pat's going to find out about it, and he's going to hear about it. I can assure you. So we, of course, are talking about Disney's new-ish, not improved-ish means of line cutting. And that would, of course, be the Lightning Lane multi-pass, you guys.
Sounds like you liked it.
Fuck up, kids. This is not the time. Okay. Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any sort of history on the just Lightning Lane's line cutting? Anything that we need to pepper in here for some?
I don't think I need to go through the history of Lightning Lanes, because I think we all are vividly aware.
Well,
however, line cutting.
I was going to say, you had some history. You had prepay, and then you had pay.
Yeah,
and there's
it used
been
to be free,
systems.
and now it's not.
There's been multiple, but there's been multiple systems through each.
I go back so far that I remember not even having.
Yeah, I remember before Fast Pass was a thing.
I remember in the long ago, the far away land of yesteryear, of there not being any line cutting system at Disney World. Mm-hmm. I absolutely remember that. So I know for a fact that it hasn't always existed. So Amanda, did you say you had history on line cutting?
Yeah, it's been going on since the dawn of time. Those cavemen, Gronk and Fred, just cutting lines. Whatever line they needed for food, for honey, I don't know what lines cavemen would have to cut, but I'm sure there were lines.
All right, I'm going to spoil this joke a little bit. I gave her those names. I don't think she gets why I chose Fred.
I don't know. I don't get why you chose Fred, but I completely get why you chose Gronk. Yeah,
Gronk is just Gronkowski. I mean, he's basically the modern equivalent of a caveman, right? But you don't get why I chose Fred, and it's been driving me crazy that you don't. It's Fred Flintstone, Amanda. Fred Flintstone.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
That's Charlotte's nickname, Fred.
Fred? Interesting name.
For Charlotte.
Freddie.
Don't think I won't call her that. I mean,
Freddie. Call her Freddie.
Okay. Done.
Oh, God. Why did you tell him to do that?
We go out to dinner. I sort of, that's the payoff right there. He's going to buy dinner for us, and it's going to be because I called her Freddie. That's exactly what it is. So,
right.
In the history of line cutting, though, I think there's one group of people that don't cut lines, and that's the British.
Really?
They are notorious for. I forget, the line when Queen Elizabeth died, the line to for the viewing went on for days, literal days.
If you had to get out to pee, you had to get to the back of the line.
Right.
That's stupid.
These people take their lines very seriously.
So I just made that up. I don't know, but I think
it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me if that was the case. But yeah, they take their lines seriously. Everybody else, cut lines.
Also, Stanley during Pretzel Day. You don't want to mess with line cutting.
Oh, don't cut in front of Stanley.
You know what? I'll tell you who probably cut lines was Walt Disney. I'm sure at Disneyland he got to the front of the line every time.
Every time. Although I don't know.
And
I
he
feel
paid
like
a lot of money
wants-
for it. He paid a lot of money for it. So
I kind of feel like he would be the guy that didn't ride a damn ride. He
wanted
was
to be with the people. I think he wanted to watch everybody else experience it.
which means that he wanted to sit on a bench and smoke a cigarette. That's what he wanted
Probably.
to do. Yeah, they probably didn't allow the smoking in the doors back in the day.
I don't know.
You know,
I don't know. Back in the day,
could you just imagine like ripping a heater?
It's the 60s, man.
It's a Small World. Like, okay, tell you what, guys.
if I remember when restaurants had smoking and non-smoking sections.
Oh, that was
Yeah, so
awesome.
do I. But still, like, look, if I can smoke
That was the
darts
best.
while I'm fucking riding It's a Small World, that's how you
Smoke
get me
on
the attraction.
airplanes.
Oh, back
You
in
could
the day.
smoke everywhere.
God, it was such a wonderful time of secondhand.
I love how you were acting like you lived through it.
I did.
Not that part you did.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
I'm pretty sure they
I can
ended in the
remember
late
watching.
80s, early 90s.
I can remember the Cardinals manager smoking a cigarette. Well, Jim Leland. Famous baseball. He would smoke in the dugout
Until
when
they
we were
tried to
younger.
ban it. And then, like, he just, went in the tunnel. Yeah. Dude was always ripping heaters, dude. Anyway, celebrity smoking aside. All right. So, do we have any other history of line cutting?
Line cutting has been going on since the dawn of time, except
Okay.
for the British.
Fair enough. That I feel like accurately sums up line cutting. All right. So today, or actually it was last Saturday. Who am I kidding? We didn't do this today.
We both had to work.
Yeah, I know. We decided that we were going to do it at Hollywood Studios because I feel like that's the play. If you have to pay for this thing, I feel like Hollywood Studios is the play. And it's because there's so many attractions that are better, I feel like, than are worthy of a lightning lane.
Also, we've done Magic Kingdom and Epcot a lot here lately.
That too, but like Epcot doesn't have but like 3.
There's not. No. Yeah, you
That's
don't
right,
need
especially with
Epcot.
Test Track down. So there's no reason for it there. There's really not a reason for it at Animal Kingdom because there's really only 3 attractions over there.
Mm-hmm.
There's Everest, there's Flight of Passage, and Kilimanjaro Safari.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, every now and then the Navi River Journey and
Flight of Passage
Safari.
is a single, right?
Oh,
pass.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you
Really,
still
the
see
play
wait
is-
times in 2
The play
hours.
is to buy that one and then just go into the park.
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom, look, I find it debatable. I do.
I think it depends. For that.
I think you absolutely need it for Magic Kingdom.
For perhaps your ride preferences, yes, but
Yeah.
for mine, I really don't feel like you do. I feel like I'm more into, if I'm doing Magic Kingdom, I'm probably going to want to do some of the like more chill rides. Like I'm not going on Space Mountain these days. I'm just not.
Okay.
I've had enough decapitation scares that it just doesn't feel like it's worth it to me anymore. I feel like I got a life to live.
But if you're a family coming down to Walt Disney
Magic
World,
Kingdom, yeah.
Magic Kingdom,
I think
because
for
I don't think you
families.
can do, if you're waiting in lines all day, I don't know if you could get all of the attractions done in a day if
But
you don't
say
have
that
Genie Plus.
we went to Magic Kingdom in May without
Mhm.
Genie Plus, and we
Mhm.
got
Lightning
on
Lane.
4 attractions,
Lightning Lane.
whatever.
Yeah.
Magic,
Yeah,
whatever. I don't know what it's called anymore.
but we got on 4 attractions within like an hour and a half, and it like Haunted Mansion and Thunder Mountain were 2 of them.
Mhm.
One of them was a people mover, but still,
Yeah.
you know, we were able to navigate that still fairly easily and not, you know, sacrifice ride quality at that point. It's not like,
Mhm.
oh, well, we're hopping on the Aladdin carpet thing because, you know, that's got a 5-minute wait. So I'm pumping up my numbers. No,
I get it.
You know, so there are just days that are a little bit better and more manageable for the crowds. And I don't think that this whole thing is something that you necessarily need every single day of your trip, which is the toughest part.
That's a different argument there. Yeah, because I agree.
but if I'm going to do it on a one-off, if I'm going to give it the best chance of my best review, it's going to be at Hollywood Studios, because I have more attractions that I want to see and less of a desire to wait in line over there, I guess.
Mhm.
That's my take on it. So that's where we tested it. Amanda, you're the one who actually booked things, because I'm just not allowed to use the My Disney Experience app anymore.
He has issues with
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely. Somehow, this is a true story.
He never gets himself.
How do you
Somehow,
not do that?
twice, I have booked park reservations for Amanda, but not me.
How's that even possible?
I don't know.
Do you not
I
know how to
really
work? I
don't.
mean, how do you not know how to work a phone?
No, I know how to work a phone. I'm saying that when I click on making the reservation or
Do you see
whatever,
your name?
yes.
Do you push it like the little circle? And
No,
it
I
says
don't. I push it a second time. Here's the
things?
thing. I'm presuming that when I'm logged in under my account and making
That's
my
not how it works.
reservation,
That's not how it works.
well, now
gotta
I'm
get
finding that out
everybody
the
booked.
hard way, and I did it twice in 2 weeks.
No wonder why you're not
I'm the one
allowed
that
to
has
use
to-
the app. Jeez.
This is why. This is why I use the app. This is why I book the things.
So Amanda bought the actual Genie plus Lightning, whatever the fuck. God damn it! Stop
How
changing
much?
stuff up like this. This is the problem. I don't know what to call it anymore.
I don't
It's
either.
multipass.
It's whatever.
Multipass. Lightning Lane multipass. Right?
That's what
so
it's
we
actually
bought
called.
it. We bought it for Saturday. What was the date on Saturday? July something. Today's August 1st. The 20th. We bought it for the 27th of July.
There we go.
Okay.
I had the date written down in front of me. So we bought it for July 27th, which was a Saturday. We paid $22 a person. With
Plus tax.
With tax, it came out to like $46.80. For the two of us. I was able to, when you buy it, you're able to go ahead and book 3 rides. You get one. You have 2 tiers, so you got to pick one from tier 1, and then you could pick your other 2 from tier 2. We wanted Slinky Dog, we couldn't get it. I waited too long, apparently. But we did get Tower of Terror, Smuggler's Run, and Rock and Roller Coaster as our initial 3 that we did. And then, of course, once you get there and you use one, you can start booking others.
I suppose in Genie Plus parlance, this would be considered stacking in some way, because once you do complete the first one, you can go keep 3 total.
So,
but if you exhaust all 3, then you can't catch back up.
So my experience with the Genie Plus was that you use one, and then you can grab another one, and then you just keep on updating, refreshing, the times would constantly change, and then you could get something usually closer to that. Is that how it worked?
I did not find it that way when I actually used for the second.
The times, the times we were finding were later,
and you could reorganize. I noticed, or you could say, "Hey, let me swap this Lightning Lane timeout for a later one because this other ride became available earlier, but it conflicts with the previous one."
Oh,
so there is a way for you to kind of manipulate it that way, but I don't feel like that was at all helpful, if that makes sense, because a lot of the times it would kind of fuck up the back end of your vacation stay, whatever you want to call it, the day at the park. You could end up swapping out. Oh, I really wanted to ride this one ride, but now I have to wait until 8:00 to ride Tower of Terror, type thing. And if you're planning on being there all day, maybe that doesn't matter, especially if you can keep up with keeping 3 in the hopper. But for
how often were you updating?
Once every 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, we were checking. Now, things like Slinky Dog and Rise of the Resistance never became available.
Yeah, well, I think Rise of the Resistance is single pass, right?
Oh, yeah, it is a single pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so-
Slinky
Even
Dog
that
never
sold
became
out.
available. Yeah, Slinky Dog, once it sold out, it was sold out. It did not become available again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I did see like Tower of Terror at one point was unavailable, but then later on became available again for later in the evening. So
Well,
if we
here's
wanted to
another
stay and
problem.
write it again, we could have.
Here's another problem with me and Disney IT, because I got tricked. And I was all happy. I was all ready to text Pat because this is his only bugaboo about
Well,
any of these line cutting services. Pat, what would be that one issue that you take?
the biggest issue I have is that you can't ride the same ride multiple times with
Well,
the paid service.
see, here's the thing. The service tricked me. It tricked me
Yeah.
into thinking that I could ride something again with another lightning lane,
Yeah.
because we got on
Yeah.
Smuggler's Run, and then once that was complete, start scrolling through trying to get our snagging the next one or whatever, and it said available
Smuggler's
at 240, which was
Mhm.
right before our
Our
next
last one.
pass.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh well, fuck it, why not? If it's there, might as well snag it. Went to go snag it after you kind of poked me a little bit, because I screenshotted it and sent it into the group. Like, hey, Pat,
I
exciting
already
news
knew
for
what was
you.
going to happen.
Yeah, and then I actually tried to book it, and it locked me out because I had already
Yeah.
experienced this attraction today.
Yep.
Which I
So
think is
Genie-
stupid. If you're paying for it, then I should be able. If
Yeah.
I want to write it again and it's available, I should be able to. I paid for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you need to
and I know
experience all of the wonders
I don't
that
want
Disney
to.
World has to offer.
Genie
don't
Plus
want to.
was the same way, where you'd use the ride and then you'd see it again and be like, oh, I'll try to grab it, just like the old Fast Pass. You could keep on riding whatever
Yeah.
you wanted, and it didn't let you. So,
But then that means that somebody else isn't going to be able to get it. So this is the
Right.
problem. This is the problem right here. I'm fine with capitalism. I absolutely am. But once you start mixing the commie bullshit in with the capitalism, that's when shit goes haywire. Okay. So now this is where the commie bullshit comes in. But we got to think of the other people. Fuck off. If I'm paying you for a
Well-
service, now I'm buying it. It makes it fair when it's free.
The funny thing about
where
that
I'm coming from.
is that when you pay for that skip the line service, they're not thinking about the people that aren't paying for it. So
Of course not. They don't give a
Yeah.
shit, but they do give a shit about other people who could pay.
I don't see why it
you
would
could
matter.
take up a slot. That's the reason why, because they limit the number of lightning lanes available
Mhm.
for you. So if you ride that one, and you have a family of 4, that's 4 more that can't be sold to someone else. So you are
Mhm.
cutting out someone else who's also paying for lightning lane by trying to snag another one. I understand it to a degree, but again, I'm paying you now. This was once a free service. I'm fine with playing by a fair and by the rules and all that shit when it's not costing me extra money. But now it's costing me extra money, and now I'm pissed that I don't get those options.
Yeah. Well, so I got a question for you guys. So with this multi-pass, does it after you use your 3, can you hop to another park and use it, or do you have to buy
Yes, but
something different?
you have to exhaust the 3 at the initial park, and then you
Okay.
can book at
And
another
then you
park.
can go.
So if we went on Saturday like we did, we got there at like 11:30 or something like that, and
Yeah.
hopped immediately on to Tower of Terror. But we didn't get done with Rock and Roller Coaster, our last lightning lane,
Till 3:30ish.
something like that. So we
Oh.
could not have booked another lightning lane at another park until we finished up the Rock and
Yeah.
Roller Coaster one, or canceled it, and then we could have been made eligible.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We just had to have all 3.
So you can't.
not-
You have to have used whatever you've collected or whatever.
Correct, or give
right,
it up.
before
And
you
then-
can book. Yeah.
Or
you can hop.
even if you cancel them, then you can hop to another park and
I
use
believe so. That
believe
if you
so.
cancel it and then go, I don't know
Okay.
that you have to be geolocated or whatever, but if you cancel your last one, you can't have
Mhm.
a lightning lane at 2 different parks. Is what it boils down to. You can
Well-
only have it at one park.
So really, the play would be, say you're in Hollywood Studios and you exhaust whatever you want to do, and then you go into Epcot and use it. as opposed to buying it just solely for Epcot.
Oh, don't ever buy it solely for Epcot. Don't ever buy it solely for Animal Kingdom. Buy it for Magic Kingdom if you have to buy it. And I'm going
I
to
think you buy it
explain to you
100%
why you
for
don't.
Magic.
But the Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom, those are the only two that I see it worthwhile on a non-park hopper basis, if that makes sense. So if I'm not, like, I would be able to justify it if I was going to one of those two parks, but not if I was dedicating my one day to Epcot. I would not be able to justify it at that point.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
There's just not enough at Epcot that needs it.
Yeah. I mean, you have Ratatouille. If you hit if you hit those,
I don't even really
if you
want
hit
to
those
use it
like
on
with
Ratatouille.
if you're staying on property and you're staying at Deluxe and you have that extra hour or whatever, the extra
night,
hours
yeah.
at Epcot, that you could walk on to pretty much all of those rides.
Yeah.
And if you're staying on property, and I believe it again is at a deluxe resort, a third virtual queue opening does open up for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. So when we were there last, we had extra hours there. We did Guardians, we did Test Track, we did Frozen, and Ratatouille with all in that extra hours. So that's everything right there.
And you didn't do Genie Plus on that.
No.
Yeah.
So if you have that option,
Yeah, if you're deluxe, then do that. Don't buy this Lightning Lane multi-pass thing for Epcot because there's just not enough there I don't think to justify the cost.
There's really not.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to sit in lines for a little bit, but even those lines, I mean, I guess Ratatouille gets long sometimes, but
yeah,
not as often these days. Like, I got to be honest, especially with no festival in the park right now. Like, there's not as many locals over there, so there's just not as many people in line for shit.
Now, here in the next few weeks, when Food and Wine starts up, again,
that might be a different story.
That'll change it, but as of right now, because
but
for once, there's no festival at Epcot at this particular time.
I got another question.
Go ahead.
Does the price fluctuate day to day like it did?
I think so.
So how do they? I mean, if I buy 7 days in advance, I mean, do they lock in the price?
Their predictor will be able to tell you, from what I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're basing it off of like what they think the reservations are going to be like. We also happen to have it like when I went to go book the park reservation for Saturday, and it was a good to go day for pass holders,
which means nobody's there.
Nobody, they didn't, in fact, we didn't even have to have a park reservation.
So what were the lines like in the parks and studios when you were there?
For the most part, when the rides that we did with Lightning Lane, lines weren't terrible. They were still longer than I would have waited. Like for Tower of Terror,
was 45 minutes though, wasn't it?
When we got on, that was 45 minutes. Smuggler's Run when we got on it was 50 minutes.
Not off.
We did the Alien Swirling Saucers, which was a 30-minute wait when we got on it. And then the one with the longest was Rock and Roller Coaster. That one was a 90-minute wait when we got in line.
So that was worth it. If we had not bought it, if we had not bought the Lightning Lane stuff, we would have been able to hit all three of those attractions pretty much within the same time frame, and then been able to make a decision whether or not we were going to try to ride Rock and Roller Coaster or not based on the wait time. Because if we didn't have that Lightning Lane for it, I would have just said, "Fuck it, we're gone."
So, I'm not waiting 90 minutes for Rock and Roller Coaster.
So my experience with the Genie Plus is that we like the four of us would literally ride every attraction in the park and be out of there in like several hours.
I think had we not had, we were only there from like 11:30ish to about 3:30ish.
So we knocked out half a day.
And we also did Muppets, of course.
Yeah.
So
as a Lightning Lane or multi-pass?
No, God no. Okay. There was like a 15-minute wait when we got over there.
Not even.
Not even.
We watched the whole pre-show, which was awesome. So
yeah,
pre-show's the best pre-show on property. Period. The end.
But we did we did mostly of what we wanted to do. Again, I would have liked to have ridden Slinky, but that's
Yeah, that's
And
a
I would
hard
have liked
one.
to have ridden Rise too, but at the same time, like it's not going to be a backbreaker for me, especially as an annual pass holder. If I don't
right.
ride one of those two rides,
Sure.
I'll try again another day. So look, I'll let's go ahead and get into the our straight up reviews or whatever. Amanda, on a scale of 1 to 5 lightning lanes, how many multi passes are you giving it?
I'm gonna go with a 3 here. It's a lot easier than Genie Plus. So I like that. I mean, it is the old Fast Pass Plus system. I just wish they wouldn't charge for it. And if you are gonna charge for it, if I want to ride a ride more than once and it's available, let me ride it.
For sure.
Patrick, based
Mhm.
on what feedback I've provided, and based
You,
on
just you. I'm sorry. We.
and Amanda,
youths.
if you would stop interrupting, Jesus, okay, sorry. Based on the feedback that Amanda and I have provided, happy,
Yes, I
happy.
am. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so, Jesus. Anyway, is this something that you feel like you are going to invest in for every single day of your upcoming December trip?
I don't know about every day, but because we haven't done Genie Plus every day, but for certain days, for sure, 100%. That kids want to ride certain rides, and
See, this is
I
why
just,
you need
I
to
just
plan it
hate,
though, because
I hate waiting in lines.
no one likes waiting in line.
I hate it.
Who the fuck likes
If
waiting
I
in
could pay
lines?
for it, if I have to pay for it to skip it, then so be it.
Okay,
I know you don't like that, but
no,
you guys live down there, so it's a completely different way you have to tour the park or visit the park than how I do.
that is correct. Okay, so I'm gonna give my rating here and say, as someone who would be on vacation, I understand why you would want to buy this, and
Mhm.
if you bought this and you are not me, I think you would enjoy this on a scale of 1 to 5, 4,
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
there. Me, it's a 1. And I'll explain it again.
Price is
It
so high.
costs $46.86 for something that used to be free.
Well, and you didn't pay for any single
No.
rides
So
too,
if I
because
wanted to ride Rise of the Resistance, I'd have to pay another $40 plus
so
tax on top of that.
so I paid for Tron because I didn't want to do the virtual queue. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
get up or whatever, so I paid for it. That was a real waste of money. Um, you guys rode Tron, right?
She's ridden
I mean,
Yes,
it's
I've
it's
ridden it.
fine. It's fine. It's cool,
It's
but it's
a
not
minute.
worth $25 to ride. Yeah, and it's
None of them
over like
are.
that.
It's like a
None
minute
of
long.
them.
No,
No,
but you don't
if you
understand.
could
Tron is a
collectively,
minute.
like, I could pay for Rise and stomach that because I don't want to. Again, I don't want to wait in that line. And I can
But
stomach
that's
Flight of Passage
also
because that's probably my
Rise
favorite
is a
attraction.
longer. Rise is a
Hold on.
much
Yeah, it's a
longer.
long attraction, but
Rise is the one attraction that you almost need the queue to kind of like get yourself in the right mindset with it. Because you go
yeah, but
through the
it takes
Rebel base.
you that.
Hold on. You have to go through all the Rebel base shit, and then you get to the Ray hologram part, and
Yeah.
apparently that's where you and the single line people diverge. The single line people or single riders, they don't get to ride the thing, the ship into space. They take you backstage and loop you around.
No, no, no. You're talking. That's not for the single like lightning lane pass.
No,
That's for
single
the
rider.
yeah.
Excuse me. So that's the
Yeah.
reason why I wouldn't use it there, because unless I'm literally going by myself
No,
and I
when you do the
don't care
lightning
about this.
lane, you get to see that.
Correct. But
Right.
it's not worth $25. It's not. Because you need
Well,
the whole fucking queue to get into the mood for it. When does the attraction start with Rise?
I don't know. I mean, you think walking
That's
through
my
the
point.
cave?
Where does the fast pass drop you off?
I think right where the Ray thing is.
Correct.
To me,
That to me should be the start of the attraction. Right there.
well, isn't
Okay.
it?
But then you get in line to get in another line, and then you're not distinguished again. You're not cutting into a better line once you get up towards the actual ride.
I don't know. I mean, that to
No,
me,
you're
that's
not.
when it
I'm just what I'm
starts.
telling you. You're skipping like a very
I've
minimal component of it.
all yeah, but that is a long way. Like go winding through that cave and like through where like
It's a long way for Splash Mountain. It's a long way for Space Mountain. There's a lot of queues that are
yeah. Well, I
long.
don't want to do it.
Yeah, well, guess what? Like, it wouldn't be
Guess
that
what?
fucking long if it wasn't for these goddamn not fast passes, lightning lanes. That's the
Hey,
point.
well,
Like,
that's the
like,
game, man. Either
no,
play it or
it's not.
don't.
Here's what the game should absolutely be. You want to cut lines, Pat? Cool. It's going to cost you $5 fucking grand right there on the spot. That's it.
Yeah,
That's the deal. And it only is one day. And the reason why it's only one day is because it's just like these VIP tours. That's your only line cutting option.
Mhm.
That's what it should be. Or it should be a free line cutting service like it was before. You want to milk the everybody off the tee?
Here's the
Fine,
thing.
cool. Do the
I
actual VIP tour.
I don't know what kind of money they make off Lightning Lane. I don't know. They don't
Not
divulge
nearly as
those
much as they make
numbers.
off of the VIP tours.
I don't know. They
There's
got to be
no
making money on it. There has to be.
Oh no, they absolutely are. It's
They
not
wouldn't be
what I'm
doing
saying.
it if they weren't making money.
No, they wouldn't be doing it if their film studio didn't need all the extra cash as an infusion. That's
Yeah,
why
but
they're
that's part
doing
of their
it.
business, man.
Okay, but this is
Unfortunately,
why I
look,
want the two
the rabbit
separated
is
to a
out
degree.
of the hat. Yeah, the rabbit is out of
Disagree.
the
You
hat.
can put a rabbit back in the hat. You can put a
I don't
genie
know.
back in the bottle. How the fuck did the genie get in the bottle in the first place if it wasn't able to get in? How did the rabbit get in?
The only way I don't see it going back is if their attendance is just down, 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 and the parks quit
Disagree.
making money.
Disagree. It's when you as the consumer and me as the consumer and all of us, or at least enough
That
of
would be
us,
the consumer
stop
saying enough.
paying. No, stop
Yeah, but that
paying.
would
Go to
be
the park.
if their
Go to the park.
attendance goes down. That is the consumer saying, "Wait a minute, this vacation's gotten way too much. It's just too much, and we don't want to pay for it."
So that's already happening.
Where's the tipping point? Is the question.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Listen to this article.
So we're past that point with me. We are vastly beyond that point with me. That of this whatever tipping point you want to call it. Every time that they try to upcharge me for something else that used to be free, it just sinks it further and further down the hill. And I, unlike Pat, I'm being a little bit of an optimist here and saying you can put that genie back in the bottle. You can put the rabbit back in the hat. What you have to do is go back on the bullshit nickel and diming scheme and make it again a little bit all inclusive. Make the park tickets a little bit more expensive if you have to, but make it inclusive for every single guest. Make sure that
I mean, how much more can the park tickets be? They're like it's like $200 for one day.
Yeah, do you think that it's gotten? And that's why I'm pissed that I have to pay extra to go cut in line. Like if you're really that hold up for cash at this point because your film studio sucks that bad, which is where they're at.
Well, Inside Out did really well.
That's not saving the film studio, dude. It's lightning lanes that's saving the film studio. That's what's floating.
I don't know if that's saving the cruise ships.
Deadpool
all of them
might
are making money.
Deadpool and Wolverine probably will. The opening weekend has been,
but they're not going to learn the right lesson from it. The right lesson from it is
Inside Out it's the highest grossing animated film of all time, isn't it? The new Inside Out too.
I don't know.
Bring our
maybe right behind Frozen or right above Frozen. It's a massive hit.
To which I say, great, wonderful, but one film isn't floating the rest of the studio.
I think it's going to be.
We did our favorite segment where I Googled shit.
Yep.
Google shit. And Inside Out 2 has become the highest grossing animated film ever, surpassing Frozen 2 with a current gross of $1.462 billion.
Wow. So that's a massive hit, you know.
Cool.
But I think the biggest thing is going to be park attendance. If park attendance seems slowing and they're not generating the cash flow that they do from the parks, then you might see some changes. But until
disagree.
if people keep coming, why they're just not going to stop it. That's just how these people are.
I disagree. You can still show up to the park and not buy something. Okay, so you can show. We have done it before, where we have walked into a Disney park and not spent an actual penny.
Not me.
It's very, very.
Well, you
easy.
bought an annual pass. How is that possible?
So that's we didn't spend a penny on that day, I should say,
Okay.
because we do have the annual pass. Okay,
We didn't buy extra.
Sure. It's
didn't buy-
different.
I didn't
Again,
buy years or
we
less.
didn't buy water.
your experience in Disney parks are going to be different than somebody
Yeah.
coming on a vacation that doesn't come every year,
Okay,
or maybe once a year, maybe once every 3 years.
Sure. So
It's just
here's
different.
the thing, Pat. How much money do you end up having to spend when you do buy the lightning lanes?
I mean, it's probably, we'll just safe to say it's like around $100.
$100. Okay.
Yeah.
How long was your average trip down here?
We're usually in the parks maybe 4 days, maybe
4 days. So at a minimum, $400 extra.
Yeah, it's about maybe
At
more.
a minimum, $400 extra.
Mm-hmm.
You are paying for the exact same rides.
Yeah,
That should
I get
be included in just the admission to the park.
Look, I wish they were free too.
It's
don't
not a matter of
disagree with
wish.
that.
It's a matter of don't buy it. There's
It
going
is
to be
a
a
wish.
ton of. Hold on. Just let me finish. Let me finish it. Let me go ahead and finish the grand evil plan of mine. Let me do the
Okay.
pinky thing like Dr. Evil, okay? Like fucking don't buy it. And then they can't keep trying to sell it. It's certainly not at that price
If
point.
I don't buy it,
If enough people don't buy it.
yeah,
Not
but you got
everyone,
people coming in.
because-
They haven't been to Walt Disney World in 5 years. There's the first time, and they want to do all this stuff.
And they're going to go,
$400
how much does this fucking thing cost? I
Yeah,
didn't
but
have to
they've
do
been
this
saving
5
up
years
for
ago.
it.
I'm not paying for this shit.
If your vacation, say your vacation costs you $6,000, an extra $400 on top of that isn't going to be a deal breaker for most people.
But it's an extra $400 that you could have
I
spent
get it,
on
but-
something very different. And I am not a person who finds value in seeing the same shit over and over and over again and having to pay for it over and over and over again. If I had to pay like literally per view of Star
Mhm.
Trek, I would have stopped watching Star Trek years ago. Period.
Okay.
And that's like, I can't understand why somebody, especially if you have been here before, why you would pay extra money to see an attraction that you've already seen. I can stomach
Because
the
it's
idea
the
of a
enjoy-
new
you're paying
attraction.
for the enjoyment
No,
of it.
but I'm
You're
not
paying
enjoying
for-
it when I'm paying money like that. I am
That's
not
you, though.
enjoying it.
You're going to have your feelings. Are
Do
gonna
you
be
enjoy
different
spending
than my
money?
feelings.
Do you enjoy spending money?
Depends
Depends. Okay.
what I'm
Just in
spending
general.
it on.
But like as a general rule, yes or no? Do you like spending money?
But sometimes yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody fucking loves spending money. Wouldn't you rather spend money on something that you really want instead of something that you've already seen?
What do you mean? It's just
If
like going to
you're
a baseball
paying
game.
for
How many
a
times do you
lightning
pay
lane-
to go to a baseball game or a
No, if
football
you're
game?
paying for a fucking lightning lane to go see Pirates of the Caribbean again, how many years in a row have you seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
I don't know, like
30
8,
at least,
10?
right?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot.
I mean, like, are you really paying that like money for that? Extra money
Yeah.
for that?
And because my kids get enjoyment out of it, and it beats having to sit there and wait in the line. And
I
like when I
disagree.
come down this time, my mom's going to be with me, and she hasn't been to Walt Disney World since 1983. So yeah, I'm going to buy it so she can go on the rides.
See, I think
So
I
yeah.
think you should. I would think that you would want to do a VIP tour instead. How's that?
Maybe.
Make that a deal. Anyway, fine. I get the hint, Amanda. We're moving on. Okay.
Oh no, I've hinted earlier and nobody took it. So that
No, we
was
didn't.
I
Because
heard
this is
it.
well, this is a frustrating discussion. Okay, like I don't
I'm not
understand why
frustrated.
people are just rushing to pay for this. It's news to me why people are paying for this shit.
I don't know why
Fine,
it's
I
news.
get it. Fine, I'm moving on. Moving on. All right. So this episode is going to be airing on Monday, whatever the fucking date Monday is. I guess it's the 4th or 5th or something.
fourth.
It's the
Week?
4th. There you go.
No, it's the
Um,
fifth. It's the fifth.
Excuse me, whatever date it is. And you know what? I don't know what fucking day it's going to be because we may not have power. I don't know. We'll see. Turns out we've got a hurricane coming, and that has caused our
Sucks to be
governor
you.
to declare a state of
We are,
emergency throughout pretty much the entire state. And we are kind of right in the butter zone of, a storm is coming. Now, it's expected to just be a tropical storm by the time it actually hits Orlando, which to us, we go to work. Yeah,
It's
not
rain
a
with a
big deal.
name. Rain with a name at that point.
But it will be impacting all sorts of guests over at Disney World and not at Disney World as well, because I'm sure it will impact flights inbound, and I'm certain that it'll impact hotels being available, and so on and so forth. So if you are watching this on the day of, usually check Orlando News. If you're stuck here or something like that, there's usually a couple of news articles from a local news perspective that announces where hurricane shelter hotels are going to be located. Last year, I remember the Rosin Inn and the Rosin
Yeah.
group of hotels. They were in like offering rates that were like 59, 69 bucks a room or something like that for just that very reason. So, if you are trapped here, there are some at least inexpensive options that you
And
can look into.
please know that if you get here before said storm hits, so like if you get here Friday, Saturday, because the storm is projected to come in like Sunday into Monday, then please know that your hotels are probably the safest place that you could be.
100%. And,
um, so
and if I may
yeah.
also one more time speak to the local perspective on this, also understand that every single one of the cast members or anybody else that you are interacting with, whether it's at a restaurant, a hotel, gift shop, wherever, if you're interacting with an employee, you may be interacting with somebody who doesn't know if their house is flooded or not.
Right.
And so if you get a little bit of a chippy attitude from somebody, understand they might be going through some deep shit that you just don't know about. So
They're expecting a lot of rain with this. So
it's
please
rare is
be
it that
kind.
rare is it that I try to excuse poor service for anything, really. If you don't
Please
have
be kind.
if you don't
Extra
act like
kind.
if you don't act like Chick-fil-A, basically, like, every single time, as far as I'm concerned, then you have poor customer service.
And also, please be mindful of the college program participants who may be experiencing their first hurricane or
They'll
tropical
get over it.
storm. This may be new to them.
Everybody who lives here has to go through it. Patrick, you
Right. Oh no, it's definitely an induction.
yeah, it's a rite of passage. Patrick, you've been through a hurricane before, but not at Disney World. Is that correct?
Yep.
How was your experience in trying to ride out a storm?
We just were chilling in our condo. We're right on the Panhandle, on the beachfront condo, and it was windy and rainy, and the waves were massive as the hurricane came in. And then we took shelter, and then I think by the next day we came out, and the storm was gone, but it had thrown some dumpsters around, and there was no damage. I think it was a Category 2 or 1 or 1.5 or whatever. But it is scary. So because you don't really know what's going to happen.
So pulling back the memory banks here and everything like that, I remember two storms from before I was an adult. One of them was at Hilton Head Island at Disney's Hilton Head Island Resort.
No.
I was in either late middle school or early high school, something like that. And we went down over, I want to say Labor Day or something like that, and got caught in a hurricane there. You know what? Dad tried to fly a kite it's the one time that I've known my father to
That's
have any
awesome.
sort of whimsy. And like that is the most
Fly a
whimsical thing
kite.
that I've ever seen my father do, is try to fly a kite in a
That's
hurricane.
great.
So, but we also went through, at the very least, a tropical storm, perhaps a Category 1 hurricane at Disney World when I was a kid. And I actually remember Disney stayed open, and we went to the parks, and it was the best day ever because no
It was
one
empty.
was at
No
the
one
park.
was there.
No one was there.
Just
Everybody was hiding out in their hotel rooms, and I was like, "Let's fucking ride Splash Mountain. We're already wet."
That's awesome.
It was
I've had an
also
experience with
just be
just
mindful
rain
that
at Disney.
Orlando. Oh yeah, but just
And
be
there was a
mindful that
tornado
Orlando. Yeah.
that one time I was there. Yeah.
That's why I won't get in the Skyliner. So
Just be mindful that Orlando is the lightning capital of the world. So just if
So
you
get some
are
metal
planning to
Mickey ears
go,
and walk around the park.
hold
if
up
you're
golf
planning,
club or an umbrella, like so.
just if you're planning to go to the parks during the storm and they're open, that's fine. Just be mindful that lightning, lots of it. There's always a lot of lightning here on a daily basis during the summer.
All true. And also, I will note that if you want to know how bad the storm is or not, check to see if the park was closed. Disney only closes for terrorist attacks and super fucking strong storms.
Yeah.
So
Viruses.
if you're that's it. Well, yeah,
Viruses.
pandemic too. Yeah, you're right. So not for nothing. I don't think that it's going to be a hugely impactful, or at least
This is
hoping not. But
they're predicting, I think, it to be a tropical storm at worst. I think
Oh.
so. Just a lot of rain and wind.
Well, since we had a rather extended and heated discussion about, Lightning Lane Multipass, we didn't really get to cover much news, but we have to carve this time out here to announce officially for the first time a live stream event, you guys. That's right. You want to know what my instant reaction is to whatever bullshit Josh Tomorrow is going to be peddling? Then guess what? You can tune in here on Saturday live. What time is it, Pat? I forgot already.
You put me on the spot. I think it's like 6 like my time, maybe 5 your time. 5, 6, 7.
So that'd be 7 our time. So
Okay.
7:00 Magic Kingdom time.
We will get the exact time and put it. I will make sure it gets posted to all of our social media.
Saturday.
And future
Saturday
Steve
evening.
is going to put it on the screen here for all you YouTube listeners. So thank you, future Steve.
That'll be the 10th. Is that correct? The 10th?
Yes.
It's Saturday.
10th.
The 10th.
The Saturday after this show airs.
That's correct.
So it's
yes.
live reaction, D23, the parks panel. That's what we're going to discuss.
And hey, I believe Bobby and I will actually be in the same room for that one.
Yes. So what we are planning to do is we're going to take you from our offices and put you in our living room. And oh my God, is it a completely different setup in the living room? On top of that, I'm going to be staring and watching it on a giant 75-inch flat screen TV. And here's what's eventually going to happen. Because I'm going to hook up both microphones to my soundboard. We're going to have all of the equipment out in the living room, and you're going to see me throw my headphones like Steve Spurrier used to throw his visor on the sidelines when
but
they
what if
start
they announce something
shit.
you really like?
Then I will be excited and happy, and you'll get to see that.
He still may throw his headphones.
So when they announce a Moana attraction in Magic Kingdom, you would be happy, right?
No.
Look, I've seen this man like run through our apartment in just pure joy. So
you want to see some instant reactions? I'm telling you, this is if you want to see a human being that looks kind of like the Kool-Aid Man in real life, like have a guttural, ridiculous reaction to something that really shouldn't give me any sort of reaction whatsoever. Because like honestly, why am I getting this excited over it? Like, I'm going to be more excited than a Jets fan when they draft a quarterback in the first round. I'm going to be more excited than, well, just watch any of those like Alabama beats Auburn in the last second videos, or Auburn beats Alabama on the kick six videos. Watch those. That's me when watching these things. And now you get to see that guttural reaction. You'll get to see how angry I can actually be.
And how I deal with it.
Yeah.
True.
Should
So
be
we're
fun.
calling it the D23 special, obviously, of the not cast. It's not going to be everybody, but hopefully we're going to get maybe some in and out. We'll see how it goes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're going to figure out the live stream thing. So make sure that you tune in this upcoming Saturday, the 10th.
I think, Pat,
at
you're planning
7
to
o'clock.
join us, right?
No, it's Pat who's hosting, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, yeah, we'll see how I host.
So we're joining Pat for this.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I thought it would be
correct.
a cool idea to do. I mean,
Yeah. Instead of waiting a week to get our reaction, getting it live in real time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you can still talk about it later too,
Yeah.
after you've digested it all.
Of course. And obviously, though, the fun of this is going to see us curse and to see us melt down. Or me melt down every single time they announce something.
Make sure you get the booze or whatever you're going to be doing.
Something.
So.
We're going to have to stop at some sort of shop of some kind, I'm sure.
I'm going to smash a bottle of wine, so.
I'm going to smash
Probably
something.
Before.
So I'm going to smash something. Not unlike the Hulk. Not unlike the Hulk. Which, you know what? If they were bringing the Hulk to, Disney World, that would be something. That would be that'd be an intellectual property I'd be highly interested in seeing what they did with, but they won't. You know why?
Because Universal has it.
Yep, because contracts.
Universal has it.
Yeah. They need money. Fuck off. Anyway, Amanda, we're on social media, aren't we?
We are. And you know what? I actually posted something to social media recently.
It only took you all summer.
Yes, I posted, if you happen to check our stories on July 27th when we were doing all of this stuff at Hollywood Studios, I was posting. Yay.
You're finally doing something.
Things have been posted. No, you can find us on social media on Facebook and that site formerly known as Twitter. At Cynical Disney. You can find us everywhere else. So Instagram, Threads, Pinterest, TikTok, at Cynics on Disney.
And Patrick, as a guest on this here podcast, completing the tricycle, of course, you have the right to plug Ola anything that you want. So what would you like to plug for upcoming content here at NotClub33.com?
I would say the Notcast is typically every Friday, not every Friday in the summer, but typically every Friday. I have some 3-minute dining reviews that are going to be coming shortly. And then the Cynics on Disney podcast. Check it out. Go check out the old ones. What do you say? What is it? Rate?
Subscribe, rate, and review. And of course, that includes subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving us a comment below. Cruising with Elena, I believe. She has left several comments here, and I'm going to highlight her specifically. Thank you so much for commenting, Elena. We really appreciate it, and we love the feedback. So please keep it up.
Guys.
And that includes all of you guys that are out there. We really genuinely appreciate it, except for the guy that told me to go eat at Skipper's Canteen instead of Tony's. That guy, forget that.
No, Tony's. I prefer Tony's over Skipper's. Ugh.
Really?
Hey, don't you?
I forgot.
Yeah, horrible experience. Hey, don't you two have a podcast coming out?
Well, we have some sort of show coming out. It's called Disney's Apocalypse Now. And it stars me and Patrick. Even though Patrick was supposed to host, I took over the wheel of that show, and we discuss everything from Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine to Star Wars, The Acolyte, and Alien Romulus that's coming up here actually fairly soon. So got a couple of movies that we need to check out. Deadpool and Wolverine, that's coming up. I think we're going to hit that before we sit
down. We need to do that soon. I need to see that. There's I want to see.
And obviously, I'm super excited about Alien because you know what? I love Alien, man. I do. And now that it is a Disney property, here's to hoping that they bring that one into the park. If that's what comes out of Josh's tomorrow's mouth on Saturday,
You will see my husband run through our living room.
I may strip.
Please
I
don't.
may strip.
Please don't.
Yeah, let's not do
You
that.
remember Mia Hamm from back in the day with the World Cup?
Please
Yeah,
don't.
that.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't.
What are you gonna be wearing a bra, a sports bra?
No, I'm gonna let him hang free.
Okay.
What? I don't have the nipple police on YouTube, so there. You do. I don't. I'm gonna let him be free. What of it? But speaking of, guys, if you would rather me not expose myself, then how about exposing us to more listeners instead? You can help do that by liking this here video and subscribing, and of course sharing on whatever social media platform that you may be enjoying and perusing at that moment. We would greatly appreciate it, guys, because the more that you expose us to other listeners, the less that I have to expose myself to other listeners. I think we can all get on board with me not doing that, right? Right, guys?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hooray! So,
Yes.
Until next time, guys, and we have a couple of humdinger reviews coming here for you because of our experience last Saturday. So, look forward to those upcoming ones here in the near future. But until next time, have yourselves a magical fucking day.